This is our monthly talk show. I'm John, and this is Michelle, our co-host. Hi, Michelle. How are
Hello.
you?
Good.
That's good. So we're here today, as usual. It's October 20th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Same bat channel, same bat time, or however they say. And we're actually riding without our top secret producer today. So I'll do my best to monitor the questions and have them pop up on here, Michelle.
Uh-oh. So I'll have to remind you if I see something.
Yeah, if you see
Okay.
anything that needs to be highlighted, just mention it and I'll highlight it. But it'll be whatever. We can make it work. It's no big deal. We've done this before.
Yeah.
So
I think they know to expect we're going to have some sort of technical issue of some sort at some
yeah,
point.
well, I don't know. I
Like,
mean, we've been pretty good. There was just
well,
I think
by
maybe
technical, I mean me, like not doing.
oh well, one or two times I think I've had issues with logging on or having my sound. No, it was just logging on that was my problem. And I don't know if I told you this, but I actually changed my internet service provider to something that's much, much better. And that's very unlikely to happen anymore. I mean, unless there's a general outage, in which case it'll be all you, Michelle, because I won't be able to be here.
It's
So,
okay. I'm at work, and so mine will probably go up and down all night because we're out here between two railroad tracks with a dial-up. Pretty much, it still goes through my phone company.
yeah.
I think my
You do.
upload. I'm surprised this works. My upload at its best is 1.5.
Really? That's why it was looking grainy earlier. Probably somebody else was on the internet there
One other
that day.
person and we're toast. I mean,
Yeah. Well, maybe lock the door so no one can come in. So, in case people are wondering, we're talking. Michelle's at the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, which, by the way, Michelle, I think you mentioned that you had seen this because I did post the preview for you. I finally got the Colorado Model Railroad Museum layout tour edited and completed, and it's actually up for Patreon members, TSG train crew members, right now in 4K with no ads.
it's
So,
really good. It's
yeah,
really good. I watched it today. I really like it. You have some great shots of the layout. Some are a little different than I normally do. So it was cool to see
oh,
your eye and your take on the layout. Um,
well, I appreciate that. There would have been even more unusual stuff if I had more time. As I was editing, I thought, I have just enough footage. I mean, I had more than what I used, and I would like to have had more variety, but I think it turned out okay.
well, one of your problems is that the first time you filmed, I was like, no, we can't use that train, John. You got to refilm.
Well, that was okay. I got it though. I understood why we weren't going to use that footage, and actually, those were the shots that I retook with that rock train. So, oh
We're
yes,
getting asked if my museum is in Greeley. It is. This is Colorado Model Railroad Museum in Greeley, Colorado. And unfortunately, the only thing that you all get to see of it tonight is my messy office. So, over there, you can just barely see a bit of a window. Oh, I'm really bad at this. Right here,
yeah,
that the layout's out there,
yep,
outside that window over there. So,
yep. I know
yeah,
exactly. I can picture it right now. When you walk in, it's right over there.
yeah, it's beautiful. I have all the lights out. I'm the only person here right now, so it's dark. See how dark it is in that window? Because we
That's
don't have any
scary.
windows. We have stage lighting.
Yeah. What if it was like a haunted museum, like a night at the museum? You'd have
It is.
trains running around.
We do have a ghost.
Uh oh.
I named him Frank. I like him. He's super nice. I just every weird thing that happens, I'm just like, all right, Frank. Good to see
Oh,
you. I
is
tell
this
him
our
good
is
night.
this the Halloween episode? Are you getting spooky?
Oh yeah, we should do this as the Halloween episode. But Frank was a real person, and I really loved him. He was a wonderful person, and he worked in our caboose, our
Oh,
real
okay.
caboose, and
So
he
it's
worked in
someone.
there.
Yeah.
And
Is it
so
someone that was a volunteer that's no longer with us, or?
yeah, when he passed away about 8 years ago,
Oh,
and
okay.
things started happening here. So I just decided it's Frank, and nothing bad ever happens. He's just saying hi. So
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of ghosts you want when nothing bad happens. Not like the movies,
yeah, so
Freddy
it's just kind
Krueger
of
or
weird. Like
whatever.
my paper shredder will turn on, or sometimes things get moved, and
Right.
just sometimes the lights turn on downstairs in the bathrooms and stuff. But
Right. Hey, as long as they don't turn off while you're using the bathroom, it's probably
exactly, he's
fine.
never done that, so we're okay.
Hey, somebody just said hello, and I'm pretty sure I know who this is.
Okay.
Daniel Coulter. Yeah, this is him. I just ran into Daniel Coulter at the California State Railroad Museum this past weekend. Hello, Daniel. And that's probably Jackson, the little kid in the picture there.
Very cute.
Yeah, I ran into them when I was at the California State Railroad Museum this past weekend for a PCR, NMRA thing. And I ran into them. He's like, "Hey, are you John?" And I had my
Your
SP
mascot.
face mask on. I'm like, how someone recognize me with that on? But then I realized I wear that all the time when I'm out chasing trains. So also I noticed, Michelle, that Sparky is on.
Yes.
Dave Sparky 107 107. He's having an epic trip right now out in Arizona.
Oh,
I
cool.
I recorded him on the virtual railfan cam at Tucson, either yesterday or the day before yesterday. So
Oh, cool. He did the
yeah,
waving thing.
yeah. So that's
That's like
something
a
that I'll
thing.
be.
Anytime that John's on one, he'll call me and say, "Hey, pull up virtual railpan. I'm waving." So I was at Horseshoe Curve and I called him and he's driving. I'm like, John,
I wasn't there. I wasn't there for you that day. I'm
no,
sorry.
I had to call Alvin.
Did he record it for you or take a
He did.
picture?
He sent me a picture.
Oh, good, good. Well,
So,
maybe if we're lucky, he'll call in today too. But that's not what we're here for, though. We have to talk to you because I have a lot of questions for you, Michelle.
okay.
It's not an interrogation or anything. It's just about your epic trips because right after I saw you in August, you went on all kinds of trips, include
I
people
did.
were like, what kind of drugs was she taking? No, not that kind of trip. You went to Powder River Basin, and then you did some 2-week thing out back east, and just all this. I need to find out about all this because all we did last time was talk about my epic trip. So, what about
So
your epic trip?
okay, and I was trying to think about how to break down some of my trips for this show, and so we're gonna do one of them tonight. But after I saw you, I went to Bill, Wyoming. And Bill, Wyoming is a population of whoever's in the cafe at the time and whatever Union Pacific employees are in the travel lodge. That's the population of Bill, Wyoming. And we stayed there and we walked in. So there's me and 4 guys from the museum and Matt Gentry from Rapido Trains. And we're checking in and they're like, "So are you hunters or why are you here?" We're like, "We're here to watch trains." And the lady in the cafe was like, "What?" So
Yeah,
we,
and all
we
the people that operate the trains were like, "What?"
exactly. And I grew up with a lot of them because I grew up near the South Morrill Yard, which is one of the yards that goes straight. There's a train that goes to Bill, Wyoming every day to South Morrill and then goes across the UP line from there. And so I knew 3 people that I grew up with that were there at the time working for UP. But it was really fun. And I want to do a show about coal. I think we'll do
Mhm.
a whole show about the coal industry. And I thought it was fascinating how it works. And then you guys can, the viewers, you guys can tell us about your coal industries near you or if you model it or whatever. Because I didn't realize how vast and different it is across the country.
Mhm.
And then in my Pennsylvania trip, I went and saw the 611 at the Strasburg Railroad Museum.
Mhm.
And I learned that the 611 has very special coal just for the 611 there. And then the other locomotives use the other coal, and it's actually dirtier. And I brought home a piece of each of them. So I got a lot to talk about there. So um, I thought that would be a fun show. So I went to Bill, Wyoming. After that, I think the next thing I did after Bill was the big boy came back, right? Yeah. It came through Greeley. So yeah, I did Bill, Wyoming, and then yeah, I did a lot of stuff. I had Monster Day in there too. Ah, talk about
Well,
how.
Monster Day was the day we rolled into town, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was.
Yeah,
And
because we
so
went
then
with.
we had the Trains Magazine tour, and you guys were here. And yeah, then I went to Bill, and then I then I went to Milwaukee. And the
And
big boy came through here, and I got to go with him to Cheyenne, so that was fun. And then I went to Pennsylvania. I've just been all over. So
yeah, So which part of the tripping are you going to talk about? Because you have a little bunch of pictures to share,
I
don't
do.
you?
So tonight I actually chose Milwaukee rail fanning, because I
Milwaukee.
just, yeah. So if any viewers, if you guys have ever been to Milwaukee, let me know because I'm gonna probably need some help with location names, because I don't remember some of them. So anyway, you guys want to get rolling with the swinging bridges of Milwaukee? Is what I was calling this episode.
Should we start it so soon? What do you think? Are
I
we
don't
going to
know.
run out of
Does
time or?
anybody want to say anything, or do you want to talk about other things? Do we have anybody calling in?
No, there's nobody calling in. I suppose I should mention that all the rules about calling in are in our video description today, and I'll go over them real quickly. If you wish to participate, please be sure you are signed into your YouTube account, your webcam is on, your microphone is working, you're calling from a quiet place. That's really important because if there's a bunch of noise and people can't hear what you're saying, I'll just hang up on you. Not to be mean or anything, but because nobody wants to hear that. So, and then also make sure that you have your browser window that has YouTube playing either muted or closed. And also, it really helps to know what you want to say before you call in. Because sometimes when people call in, they kind of just keep talking and they didn't really know what they were going to say, but they keep talking. And I don't know, it doesn't provide for a really great call or a fun show for other people to watch if someone just keeps talking and talking and talking. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do because we're such
Yeah,
exciting and interesting people.
not not me. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the thing is, though, I do have a list here of things that I want to talk about on the show today, and you do too. So we're prepared. That's the
yeah,
difference. We're not
that's
just
good.
going on about things and tangents, right?
Right.
So, oh, Dave Hammer, Dave thinks he's. I don't know, Dave.
Guilty.
You're usually pretty okay with yours. Do you know who? There's one guy that was on the train crew. I don't know. He might still be named Christopher Acuna. He's called in before, and he is like the ultimately great caller. He calls in. He knows exactly what he wants to talk about. He says what he wants to talk about, has a short conversation, and then he says, okay, thanks. And he goes. It's perfect. So I don't know if he's watching today,
Just
but
so people
that's
know, when
meant.
I'm looking down, I'm checking chat to see what you guys are saying because I have my phone right here to look at chat so that I can
Yeah.
answer. So
I'm
if you see
also
me looking
looking.
down, I got asked that one time, and I'm like, they're like, "What are you doing when you're looking at your desk?" I'm like, "I'm checking chat, multitasking here."
I'm doing the same thing when I look over here. That's looking at chat because I have a screen up right in front of me. I have a big TV monitor. And then down here I have my laptop. And what I did was I put the screen from the laptop onto the TV up here so that I can kind of look at the camera while we're talking. So it
Yeah.
works out. It works out okay.
So Sparky on his trip, we could do a show about that sometime. I got a lot of stuff from that layout in Sedona, and so there we go.
Okay.
Show ideas. So
Maybe we should have Dave call in next month and do a little thing about his trip. Of course, he
I
could
think
do
that would be
that for
good.
his channel. Then people could
Oh
watch it
yeah.
on his channel. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. So anyway, tell me what you'd like if you'd like for me to share this, and we can get started with your
Okay.
trips.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
We'll talk through this, and then we'll go on to other topics. But
yeah.
okay. So I went to Milwaukee, and with me, because you'll see them in some of the pictures, are two of my board members. Actually, they just timed out of my board, so now they're on my like honorary board. And so you'll see Tim McMahon, a retired Major General in the U.S. Air Force.
Oh, I remember Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Wayne Hansen, who was basically his colonel throughout their careers, also U.S. Air Force retired. And Wayne has run many museums, including the Cheyenne Depot Museum, the Old West Museum, and he's currently working on a theater and restoring old theaters. So he's very involved in the industry here. And so we all went to Milwaukee. The point of the trip was to do two things with Walthers and to visit Kalmbach. And so with Walthers, we actually went to a museum called Discovery World. And Discovery World has taken in an historic Milwaukee layout. And so it was fun to consult with them on how to maintain a layout for public viewing. And so, oh, cool, Matthew, I'm reading that.
Yeah. You know
That's
something
awesome.
about maintaining layouts for public?
Yeah, what does that take, and stuff like that. June 5th, I'll probably be here in June. I'm gone in May, guys, just so you know. I'm going to Hawaii for a couple of weeks, so I'm out.
Can I hide in your suitcase?
um, okay, so we worked with Discovery World, and then we also went to Walters to learn about their new product, which is called Build a World, which we're going to talk about maybe next month. So
What is
we're in
it?
Milwaukee.
Hold on. What's it called? Build what?
Build a World. Walters
Build
Build
a
a World.
world. Okay.
And it
Okay,
is
cool.
a scenery building kit designed for home use, school use. We're going to use it in our education programs. I think it'll be cool. So we'll talk more in depth about that on another show.
Cool.
And maybe get someone from Walters to call in with us to answer questions and stuff. So, okay, so we are rail fanning Milwaukee the day before we're meeting with Walters. So we have like a whole afternoon to hang out and check out the city. And Tim's grandparents were in Milwaukee, so he kind of knows where he's going. So we go down to the train station, the Amtrak station. We watch a big container train go through. And then we're just kind of driving on through the little downtown area. And we turn down this street, and I said, "Oh my God, stop the car. I see a bridge I want to look at." And so Wayne pulls over because I'm in the back, and those guys, Tim's navigating, Wayne's driving, and I'm just the backseat driver. So I'm like, pull over. So he pulled over, and the video I'm going to have you show, if you show the video first. So do we have to take down the picture? Maybe I should pull it off.
I don't know. It's up to you, but I shouldn't.
Yeah. So then
if
you play the video, this is me.
Okay.
So we parked, and I couldn't see that bridge because there's this building in the way. So I get out of the car, and I'm like running up to look around the building, and I'm expecting to see this like bridge spanning across the water. And this is what I see. So I am freaking out. I'm like, this bridge is attached to nothing. What is this? Why does this bridge go nowhere? And I'm standing there trying to figure out what I just saw. Like, why is the rail not attached to anything? Seriously, my brain could not process what I was looking at, because in the time we pulled over, that bridge had moved from this to this. And I didn't know there were bridges that moved. And so I just stood there for a minute in stunned, just totally stunned.
Stunned silence.
Stunned silence. And so here, I'll get you the next video. So as I'm standing there, if you want to play this one.
Sure.
This boat goes through. I watched this boat go by. And I'm like, oh, this bridge moves. Because that boat like came right after my moment of stun. I'm just walking around like, wow, that's really cool. So that is the garbage boat, I learned later. That thing just cruises around the harbor, and every day at 8:30 in the morning, they open the bridge and that little boat goes through. So if you're in Milwaukee, you go to the Menominee Bridge. I'll say it right.
Menominee.
The Menominee. It took me forever to figure out how to say that. And it'll open for the garbage boat. So that's what happened there. And so then let me share the next one with you. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of slow on the sharing thing. So there's that one.
Okay.
So I hear
that sounded very businesslike.
Yeah, that little buzzing. And then look, it starts moving.
You know, though, it looks like it's going to run into that building that's over to the right.
Doesn't it, though? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it swings. It's not. It's swinging over like ice. Wait a minute.
Do you see? It's turning. See, the base under that little house is the base that it's rotating on, and it's extra weighted on the one side because the base isn't in the middle.
Yeah, got it. See now, right? And I was thinking that was a bridge that twisted out from the middle. It twists out from the end. Okay, now it makes more sense.
Yeah, and it's like tucked up against that building on the backside. Do you see the rail sticking up?
Yeah.
That, and then that goes down at the very end and goes back into the rail.
That's pretty cool.
So and now listen. It doesn't squeak, creak, moan, grind. It's silent. And it's
Pretty much.
120 years old. It's 120 years old.
I turned the volume on the video all the way up. You're right. There is no sound. Or very little.
So quiet.
Yeah, I hear regular wind noise, that kind of thing.
And a car going by.
Yeah.
Car.
Oh,
I think I got honked at right there. That's standing on the bridge filming.
You're like, hey, honk at the blonde.
So to the left, there's some land. See the workers over there? And there's some land. There's a truck parked over there. You can't see it in this video.
No, I can see it. It's on the left side.
Oh, that's the workers on the other side. There's one on this side of the rail.
Oh. Okay.
And that's the guy who's in the building right now moving the bridge.
Okay, so there's someone that works in that office right there, huh?
Right. And so the rail's going down. Can you hear that? See? Can you see, just barely see it at the edge?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like locking into place.
Yeah, so that goes down. And you can see the gear turning under the bridge.
This could make a fascinating video of how it works, you know?
That's what I thought. I was fascinated. So I'm just standing there in awe, like that was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. And so it was just very cool. And that bridge, it almost touches that building on that other side. Yeah. There's like no space. Oh, that's my next video, I think. Or that's the end of that one.
That was the end of that one.
So I walk down. I see the guy get out of the house and he walks over towards his truck. And I kind of walked down and around, and I might have gone right up to him and said, "Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm super interested in what you just did with this bridge." And he introduced himself, and I call him Canadian Pacific Mike. He's CP Mike, and I'll keep him anonymous other than that. But he was super nice, and he said, "I've been doing this job for 12 years, and no one's ever asked me about it. No one's ever cared." And I said, "Well, I think it's fascinating." And he said, "Well, I'm moving another one in 2 hours." And I said, "What other one?" And so he told me the Kinnickinnick Bridge and what time to be there. And so I have those videos. But first, I want to talk about the next video. Can you share that next one?
I think it's this one.
Yeah. Look at this building. Talk about need to be modeled. And it's triangular on the right-hand side. It's super pointed. And so now will you share my picture? I want to show you that corner on the right-hand. Look at that.
Oh, that's it?
That's the corner of that same building where we parked. And that's Tim in that picture. But yeah, and so it's almost like a triangular or trapezoid building.
Huh.
It was really a cool building. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that is begging to be modeled.
Definitely begging to be modeled. I have some other ones of those. Okay, so we have 2 hours to kill because we're going to see that bridge. So we go here. So I'm going to send you this video. And we went to the Canadian Pacific Yard that wasn't very far away. And there's that beautiful bridge in the background there is the next bridge down the line from the one that moved. So we are just beyond it is where that bridge moves off to the east of here. So this is the yard coming in. And as we're standing there, like, I guess, was that the end of the video? Maybe I didn't put
that was the end of the video, yeah.
I probably gave you the wrong one. Here, let's go to the next one. They started doing this. Okay, you can check that one.
Oh.
In cars.
Is someone kicking them off the bridge into the yard?
Yeah, he's backing across the bridge and kicking them into the yard. And it's a fairly big yard you haven't seen yet off to the left. And this car rolls a long ways. And don't worry, I won't make you watch that whole video.
Well, whatever. I mean, we can keep it playing while you're talking. I think that's pretty cool.
So it was very cool. Luckily, I knew what kicking cars is because there is a place in Denver, the North Yard, they do kick cars. So I knew what that was.
Yeah, we watched them do that on Chasing Trains a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so this one comes rolling by. I'm zoomed in because that bridge is so far away. So I have another video here where it'll kick back. So you can go to the next video. And here it is passing me. And it just cruised on down the yard.
What's kind of remarkable about this is that the person operating the train that's kicking the cars off of the cut must know exactly how fast to go so that it doesn't roll
Yeah.
down and slam into wherever it's going.
Right. And that it
Isn't that?
keeps moving. You think it would have
Yeah,
stopped in all of that time,
yeah.
that it would have stopped, and it didn't. Oh, and here's a funny video of me in this area. Here you go. This is
Oh,
us.
here it comes.
And now it's raining, but we're still here. We're staying because there's action here in this Canadian Pacific Yard.
You foamer.
I totally filmed that because it started raining. And I'm like, and we're not even leaving. So there you go.
Yeah, that's funny.
So we watched that for quite a while. I didn't pull up a whole lot more video of that yard, but that was a cool yard to watch.
Uh-huh.
All of that. You didn't get to see the locomotive. I think I must have pulled up the wrong first video, but it was a beautiful red locomotive. Maybe I'll go find a picture of it.
And you said that was a CP yard?
Yeah, Canadian Pacific. And this
Yeah.
is in this video is what where I was standing. That building needs to be modeled. And that building needs to be modeled.
Oh, yeah.
And this one over here to the right, it needs to be modeled.
That part down there looks like a junkyard.
It did. And then I have, let's see, I got to go to my, let's see, can you bring up the PowerPoint again? So I can go to the picture. Okay, so I loved that building. And so I took a picture of the flower with it because I thought that was pretty. And then here's a still shot of that building. Those towers to me are so weird. They're oval.
Uh-huh.
And it was just a really different looking building to me. I don't know. Is that normal? Maybe that's normal.
You know, there are different buildings for different purposes. And I think that the variety is what makes them interesting to begin with.
So, and then I really liked, this is the location sign. So if you'd like to go to this yard, that's the address sign right there, 450 South 11th. And I have no idea what A plus D and means. So
A plus and D minus. Those are the grades we got. I got the A plus and you got the D minus.
Oh, I don't think so. I was an A plus student.
You got the A plus. I don't think I ever got a D minus though.
I would have passed out if I got a D. I passed out at a B.
Maybe we were both A students.
The Union Pacific's coming. We're going to hear a train. So yeah, I thought that sign was pretty funny. So that's where you go if you want to see the yard. And then this was also there. Also begging to be modeled was this truck. So, and then that building was behind it. The other crazy building with windows and strange looking towers. And there's UP.
That's a great horn, isn't it?
Isn't it great? There should be like a short and long. Oh, maybe he's just doing two. So anyway, I just wanted to share those pictures of
seems like it seems like the horn could have been sound effects for your slideshow.
Yeah, really, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what my next picture was. Oh, let me go back. So let's see if I can make that work. Gotta move my. Oh, now it's not. Oh, I gotta click on this screen. I'm learning this technology. If I don't click on that screen, oh, okay. So we'll go back to the second bridge, and then I'll show the insides of them.
Sure. Yeah. We can
video.
Look at them.
So now we've killed 2 hours in the rain, and we're headed to the next bridge. But we know he told me after Amtrak crosses it, then I'll come open it, and it should be around this time. So here's Amtrak crossing.
Oh, that's one of those new Chargers.
I thought it was pretty cool. And there's a different locomotive on the back.
Well, that was interesting. They also had a -8 on the end, a B-32-8. Did you see that?
I didn't know what it was, but I thought it was really interesting. The two on the end were different.
Yeah. I wonder why. I wonder why they have locomotives on each end. That was odd. I bet that was an unusual move. Did you see any other commute trains when you were there?
That's the only one I saw. So I didn't know if that was different or not, but it looked different to me.
I have a couple of things here that are popping up, and I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to share next.
Oh, I don't know either. Maybe I did it wrong. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna remove them and put the right one up.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. I said there'd be technical difficulties with
This
me.
isn't a difficulty. I just need to know which one to put
I
on.
know,
'Cause I don't
it's
want
this
to play
one.
the same video twice.
Okay,
You know?
so this is the Kinnickinnick River. Can you say that one? Menominee
Kinnickinnick.
Kinnickinnick River. And we're in Standing. The road is going to open too. And there's this huge sailboat on the other side just circling and circling, ready to come through.
Oh, the road opened and the railroad?
So the road that I'm standing on, I had to move to where I'm standing because the arms, you're going to hear the arms come down. It like sounds like a railroad crossing. And then the road will open up. There's CP Mike. He's off in the distance. He's pulling the rails up. He went out and did the thing that pulls the rail up.
Uh-huh.
And now he goes into the building and he'll start moving the bridge. Did you hear the buzzer?
I did, yeah.
Buzzy thing.
I wonder if they have derails to protect the crossing. You know what I mean? Like so that trains don't run off the end.
I don't know. That's a really good question. And again, it's silent.
Yeah.
You can hear the cars.
It would be really cool to have someone on who does this kind of work.
Right. To talk about
I have a lot of questions that are starting to percolate.
I did too.
Yeah, this is just something that we don't see every day.
I asked him how come he had so many in a day, and he said in the fall, all the ships start coming in from off the lake into the inner harbors for the winter, and so he said he pretty much does this all day long right now. And see the road things are coming down now. Yeah, I agree. It is not as they have a counterweight on the backside of the bridge. Very interesting. I love how that bounces there. The arm bouncing.
Right. So does the road lift up or does it twist like the...
No, once they have a time limit after the arms go down, and then the road will start coming up. So it should be moving now.
So it does one of these things, right?
Yeah, it opens. There it goes.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd never been around that before either. That was new to me. And I know this is normal for people who live around the Great Lakes and stuff, but it was all new to me. So I was just fascinated. And the road's even quiet.
Are we going to be talking about 611 at all during this show, Michelle?
I didn't pull up any pictures or anything, but we could. I mean,
did you go to see it though during this trip?
I did. He did go see it.
Okay.
And so Mike's walking across to talk to us. So, and that's about the end of that video. He walks over and waves, and then the boat goes through, which is my next video.
Okay.
And so here's the sail. This is how then the sailboat goes through. I hope I'm not boring everybody, but I thought it was fascinating.
It's your show. That's why he was just going around. That is so cool.
And so now the road's going to start going down, and everything starts going back.
Isn't it? If you think about it, Michelle, think about all the technology and energy and engineering that it took so that one little sailboat could go through.
I know, all these people had to come and move all this stuff to let the one boat through.
Yeah.
And I said, is there a fee for that? And there's not, because the railroad built over the river, they're required to allow access.
So how does the guy in the sailboat, does he make an appointment?
Or... He calls and makes an appointment, and he has to give him 2 hours notice.
Oh, wow. That's a pain in the... Yeah.
Well, I think that might be how CP Mike feels about his job.
Yeah.
I thought it was fascinating, and the road people too. And so that boat, I didn't put the video up, but he goes a little bit beyond, and you can see there's a bridge. If you look under this bridge, you can see there's a bridge in the distance. He has to circle until that one gets open.
Oh, jeez.
So he only got that far, and then he's
put the anchor down.
So there goes the road down, and the bridge is moving, and so it's all going back. And then what Tim is talking about is there's 2 rollers at the end of that bridge, and they make sure the bridge gets to the exact right height. It goes across those rollers. Can you see that?
Yes. On the left side, right?
Yeah, on the left
Yeah.
there. And they're down on the concrete pylon below. And so the bridge comes on there and it just makes sure it stays perfect when it aligns
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I
There
did
was a
kind of have tools up at the handrail.
Yeah, look at that. There was a comment. Gary says, you don't see that every day unless you live in Sacramento. He's talking about a bridge over the Sacramento River in Old Town Sac. We were just there last weekend. And, though, if I'm not mistaken, that bridge swings out from the middle, like we were talking about earlier. It doesn't swing out from the end like these do. This is really cool. I'm not even sure that I knew this kind of bridge existed, to be honest.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah, that is cool. No wonder you stopped and were like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah. And then so that was it for that day. But what happened is Mike came over, drove around to where we were parked at that bridge. And he said, hey, Michelle, do you want the schedule for the rest of the week while you're here? And I went, nah, no, I'm kidding. I was like, yes. So the next day we knew another bridge was gonna swing. So we went back to the Menominee Bridge at the time he told us. And so here's a train crossing it. I think this is an Amtrak. So I did see two. So this is the next day at 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, and you'll notice it only has one locomotive on the end.
Yep.
Remember the other one had the two on the end that was going the other direction?
Yeah, and so he's going to cross the bridge, so I just thought I'd show you. So there's a train crossing it. Now there's another real train outside. Look how close it is to that building, though. Isn't that amazing in a city?
Yeah, I want to see this on a layout.
I do too. Somebody's got to model this bridge in that building.
Yeah. I bet someone has that on a layout.
And just one locomotive on the end. So I think that was different. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
They're saying hi. Did you hear the real horn outside? That was UP saying hi.
Oh, that was another one? Yeah.
And they saw my car and they went, no, outside. Did you hear? They went, what? That's because they were saying hi to me. Nice guys. Okay, so let me go get the next video. I went back to this bridge, so I was just going to show it to you from a different angle, the same as the first one. And you'll see the little garbage boat again, because he comes through in the afternoon too. So, so now I'm standing down where I said his truck was parked, so you can see more beside that building. And the rail's up. I thought that was a good angle to see that at.
I want to go make a video about these things.
So if you go to Milwaukee, I tell you, if Train Fest happens again, I'm going to be at these bridges at certain times, and that's where I'm going to tell people to meet me.
No, I want CP, though, to get Bridge Mike, CP Mike, to be able to talk about these things.
I agree, and maybe we could ask Canadian Pacific for his service. I don't know, for him to come and talk about it. You'd think they'd want to talk about it. They've just done such wonderful maintenance on it that it's still beautiful 120 years later.
Yeah. What I want to know is all the technical stuff, like what interlocking does it have to go through in order for that bridge to open? Because it can't just open. There has to be a lot of safeguards in place so a train doesn't just run off the end of the thing.
Yeah, could you imagine being the dispatcher around these bridges?
I'm not sure, but I think that in some places the operators of the bridges are the dispatcher. I think I know someone who does that, but I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I know someone who does that, but I'm not sure. I'd have to send some Facebook messages and find out, because that could be an interesting person to talk to on the show here, I think.
Yeah. So somebody's asked me where this bridge is. All I can tell you, because I don't have a map today, is it is the bridge over the Menominee that is just to the east of the Amtrak station.
Menominee.
The Menominee River. And the Menominee runs right by that CP yard, too.
Are these...
And there's the garbage boat.
Yeah. Are these Native American names? Do you know?
They are. They're indigenous names. I'm not sure what tribe, but yeah, the Kinnickinnick and the Menominee, they're both indigenous names. And so the boat's going through before that bridge is even done all the way moving. So obviously they do this every day.
Yeah, really cool.
So, yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. Let me see what my next video is. Okay, so that's all I have on the bridges, other than let's go look at the pictures. So Mike says to me, he says, "Hey Michelle, do you want to know what it looks like inside the little house?" And again, I said, "No, I don't think so." I'm just kidding. I was like, "Yes, that would be cool." So if you bring up my PowerPoint, this is the picture he sent me.
Oh, look at that.
These are the brakes, or the locks, switch locks, basically, for the ends to come up, where the rail comes up. This is the locks for that.
So he has to pull those before
he
can do
lift
anything
the
else?
rail at the edge of and disconnect the bridge from the rail. Like, so yeah. And then this, I gotta click over here. This is the Kinnickinnick Bridge office. It's the bigger one. And so he has a desk and a chair, and it looks pretty industrial. And on the left, you can see the little handle sticking out, not the wheel.
Looks like a brake wheel, kind of.
There's a brake wheel, but see the little handle, and the next picture shows it better. That little handle is what moves the bridge.
That's it?
That's what I said. That's it.
It looks like you could walk by and knock it over, accidentally.
Yeah.
Like, oops, the bridge is opening.
How do you see where you're going, Mike? And he goes, well, there is a window over there.
Yeah.
and interesting, you kind of see the panel above it. And so he's got kind of the interlocking system up there at the top. You can see he's got a rail layout. But I'm so glad he sent me these, because it makes a lot more sense to me now. And I'm guessing that's a brake to stop the bridge if in an emergency.
What, the brake wheel? You think
the
so?
Handbrake? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask him. I'll have to ask him about that.
I'm pretty sure they're not steering anything with it.
And so this is the Kinnickinnick Bridge, the one with the road that went up to. And then the other bridge, the Menominee, this is what the interior of it looks like. This is the one I showed you twice, the last one we watched. And so at first I'm like, wow, look at all those locks, those switch locks there. Those are cool. And he has lockers, and there's a microwave and a deep rock water. And oh, wait, you drive the bridge right between the microwave and the deep rock water.
Yeah, look at that. What if you're going to grab your water to put it in the microwave and you accidentally hit the little
and you move the bridge? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, look, he has binoculars too. I wonder if he's checking to make sure the rails are up.
Yeah, and so but when he sent me this one, I said, how do you even see out that window to line up the bridge? And he goes, practice.
So how did he say? I don't remember. I think you mentioned it before, but I don't remember how long he's been operating these bridges.
12 years.
12 years. Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's just old hand for him. He just knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, can you imagine though? Like, how do you did he grow up in Canada? Like, hey man, I want to operate bridges, eh?
He had that accent though. He definitely had the Minnesota Canadian accent.
Right?
It was good. Yeah, I really liked talking to him.
I wonder that, how do you get into that? How do you go from, what did he do before? Did you ask him? These are the questions that I ask him. What brought you to this?
I think he's been with Canadian Pacific a long time. And then now he does the bridges. And he's kind of he works out of the local yard, and he does more than bridges. I think he's more of a manager level, but he does the bridges too. So I didn't ask him that question though. So yeah. I've got his number. I could text him.
You'll notice they don't have any refrigerators in there though, because you've got to wait until after work to have the Molson, eh?
Yeah, I guess so. Don't you know? So that was my bridge adventure. So I hope that you all enjoyed the bridges. I have one more real adventure while I was in Milwaukee to share with you. Yeah. But the bridges, so maybe we should talk about if anybody had questions or anything. Were there any questions? Not that I can answer them.
Yeah, I haven't seen questions coming in. I see a lot of answers coming in, which is nice. I always, Michelle.
Second Street. Yeah, Second Street. That's correct. That is correct. I'm sorry I didn't look up a map before the show. I didn't have time today. So I was like, you guys are going to have to help.
Yeah, I always say that we have the best viewers on YouTube, and part of the reason why is because I learn a lot from the viewers.
I do too.
And I can remember a time when I was making videos with someone that pretended to know a lot, but actually really didn't. And people would come on and make corrections that were right. And it's like, yeah, maybe, it's better to pay attention to real experts. I'll just put it that way.
I think it's cool that a lady has an interest in trains. How did it start? I don't know. I'm just crazy.
Yeah, you are crazy. We know that.
It's kind of funny because working in a model railroad museum, I like the modeling side, but I'm definitely more of a rail fan. But I do understand the joy of modeling. So, but I was talking to John earlier, and I'm like, give me a model railroader magazine and a trains magazine, and I'm gonna read the trains magazine first. And that's just me being honest, but that's part of modeling though, is that you have to love the prototype. And I think the reason that I do love that so much is because I'm learning right now. I'm in a learning phase. I don't know anything. And so everything to me is brand new, pretty much. So.
Well, you know what, Michelle? My memory is so bad that it's all brand new to me every time.
Well, there you go. That's like me watching a movie for the fourth time. I'm like, what happens? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's why I asked you how long the guy's been working the bridges, because you did say so. I remembered. I remembered that after you said it, I'm like, yeah, that sounds familiar. 12 years.
Oh, somebody's talking about detailing the bridge tender's house. Somebody has to do that crooked railing, that like bent railing on the Kinnickinnick Bridge. I thought that needed to be modeled.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how it happened.
Yeah, that totally needed to be modeled. Oh, I share a picture here. I got one more thing to talk about with that bridge.
Okay.
I forgot. So underneath the Menominee Bridge, which is the one I went to twice, was this. I don't know if any of you have ever watched Hobo Shoestring. He has his own YouTube channel. He's a current hobo, and this is his moniker.
Oh, so he's been there.
Yeah, he's been there twice. And so he's dated it twice. I'd never seen a shoestring moniker in the wild. So I took this picture, but it was right underneath that bridge. So I thought that was interesting. And it's in chalk, and it's obviously been there a while. So
yeah.
I don't know. Monikers are different than graffiti. So it's in chalk, and it's meant to be temporary because it is. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting that I found that under the bridge. So
yeah, I just got corrected by our resident Canadian.
Poser.
Canadians don't say all the time, eh?
What was the movie we all watched in the 80s with the Great White North?
Oh, that was Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Take off.
That was Strange
That's
Brew,
all I knew
wasn't
about Canada my entire childhood. So
yeah.
Sorry.
I think it was Strange Brew. I
Yes,
gotta watch it. Yeah, I gotta watch that again sometime. That's one of those movies that I watched it 40 years ago or whenever when it came out. Yeah, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, it's rated R. This will be fun, and then probably if I watched it now, I'd be like, oh my God, what a waste of time that was,
Okay, so I did one more rail fanning thing while I was there. This was the first time I'd seen Canadian Pacific. Okay. And so I met Kate. And I don't know if everybody knows Kate Cratville Wren. She's married to Jim Wren, the editor of Trains, and her father is a famous Union Pacific historian.
Oh, okay.
And so he's very well known in the UP world, and so she's grown up on the rail pretty much. But I love Kate, and so they live right nearby this place, and so she told me where to go. She gave me the Google pin, and there's a diamond, and maybe a viewer knows where it's at because I just know from a Google pin, and I'm not sure what it's called. But there's a diamond where the CN goes north-south and the CP goes east-west. Oh. So the trains that I was watching go over that bridge cross this diamond before they get there if they're going east. And then the CN goes north-south. And I'd never seen CN before, so we went out there. And so we did catch some trains. And we caught a very cool train while we were just standing there. So I thought I would share this one. And this is why the guys say I'm lucky when we go rail fanning. So here's this.
Looks like it was nice weather that day.
It was beautiful, just beautiful. So this train's headed into Milwaukee. It's going east. And there's actually a restaurant across the tracks from us called the Depot, or the Station. The Station. It's called the Station. It was good. Good burgers. Look at this locomotive on the front.
Oh, hey, that was their heritage unit.
That was the heritage unit, and it was backwards. So I just put a still shot.
You know, I've never seen one of these kind of modern units run that direction without some, cab control on the other end.
So we're
You know what I
thinking
mean?
maybe they pulled a locomotive off. So if you want to pull up my PowerPoint, I pulled a still shot from my video for us to look at.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they left the door open.
Well, maybe the guy. Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
so pretty.
that's a really strange arrangement. Like you would think they would put them butt to butt instead of nose to nose, right?
Right. So we're wondering if they just
Hmm.
pulled a locomotive off and just decided to keep going or something. Like there was a
Hmm.
lead unit.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
So maybe somebody can figure that out. But
Is it possible that the second unit maybe didn't work properly, so they had to run the heritage unit around? Well, that doesn't make sense. I don't
the
know.
only
That's
thing that makes sense is if there was one in front of it and it was the middle unit. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they had one in front of it and that one broke down.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is the one in front had a problem and then they pulled it off and then they just
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very strange catch. I mean, one, it's weird that you caught a heritage unit because that's, what are the chances of that? But
what are
the
the odds?
second thing of having it be running long hood forward like that is just bizarre. That's weird.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And somebody just pointed out it does have ditch lights on it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was checking actually as it was going by. I was checking to see if it had the ditch lights on it. I don't think they could run it legally if it didn't have the ditch lights.
That's probably true, right? Yeah, you have to have ditch lights or you get written up. One time we were operating in here and our local Union Pacific guy from the LaSalle yard came in and we're just walking around talking and all of a sudden he goes, "Shell, wait right here. I'll be right back." He was very serious. And so he goes outside and he's out there for a little bit and he comes in and he's got this clipboard and he's just writing on this clipboard. And he walks over to me and he pulls off these sheets and he goes, "You've been cited. You better
fix it." What did you do wrong?
And I went, "What?" And he goes, "He wrote us up because one of our trains didn't have ditch lights on."
Oh, on the layout?
On the layout. So I have an official Union Pacific write-up about it. I framed it. It's down on the wall.
Oh, man, that's funny.
It's pretty funny. That's when I learned ditch
good.
lights are important.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all about.
Found it. The Station Pub and Grill. So if you want to find the diamond where the CN goes north and the CP goes west, east-west, there it is, the Station Pub and Grill. And we did eat there with Jim Wren and Kate. And It was good. It was really good. So, yeah. And it is right there. And you can literally just go from one side to the other to watch the CN and then the CP. And there's another parking lot you go to. If you look at, here, let me go back to the picture of me and Kate. Hold on. Well, there we go. Go back to, can you bring up that picture?
Yeah.
So if you go past the station and you turn right, you find, if you look over my shoulder, quad graphics property, no trespassing. And we're standing right there. Kate goes, "They're friends of ours. We work with them and they let us rail fan in the back of their parking lot. So we're okay to be here." And cool. So I thought it was funny. That was my picture. So I'd remember where it is. So you can go from this parking lot to this road over across from the station and safely rail fan without actually trespassing, even though this one, they don't want people parking in there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and SC frequently runs long hood forward. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, running long hood forward in locomotives that are designed to run long hood forward is one thing. But running long hood forward in an ES44 or whatever that thing was, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to put it back on again. I'm going to watch that run by again.
Watch it again. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm really curious about this. It is such an unusual shot. Let me speed it up a little bit. Yeah, that looks like it might be a -9 or something. I don't know. I'm not that up on.
I'm not good with diesels.
Modern, yeah. And someone else was saying that the second unit is, it's a CSX unit, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So very interesting. on the Canadian Pacific line.
Well, maybe somebody watching or someone who will end up watching will know.
It's an SD70 Ace, says Mark.
Is it an SD70? Okay.
But I
Yeah,
don't know
there
which
it is.
locomotive is he talking about, the Heritage or the
Oh,
CS?
that's a good question. I don't know. Now someone else is saying it's an SD70 Mac. Okay, well,
Okay, let's have an arm wrestle here.
I think I think we're pretty sure that it's an EMD, but which one are they talking about? Let me see. See, now this one to me looks like a GE. I recognize the little, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but the air tanks right there that are attached on the fuel tank, that's a GE thing, isn't it? And oh, I see. You can see the notches in the nose of the Canadian Pacific one. So yeah, that's an SD. That's an EMD. Okay, I see what they're talking about.
You're talking about the panel, that line with the panel in the nose. That's how you know that's an EMD.
It's an SD70 Ace, I think. ACE. It looks like an SD70 ACE. See how they're
Murph's like, yeah, it could be a Mac.
Yeah, no. You see how it's notched right? Just if you look in front of the cab, and then there's a little notch there, and it looks like a sand filler hatch. Oh, someone else is saying it's an SD70 ACU. Okay, well, whatever. It is what it is. But the point is, it's something that's cool, and I want to know why they were running a long hood forward. That is so strange.
Yeah, I don't know. So
yeah.
Anyway, that was my rail fanning Milwaukee experience. So I did see a Union Pacific train in the dark at Spaghetti Factory. At the Spaghetti Factory restaurant across the street, there's a UP line, but I didn't. Other than that, but it was like, I see UP every day. So
cool.
So that was cool. So that's it. That was my rail fan Milwaukee trip. So
yeah. No, that's great. And you know what? We're only an hour into the show, so we can take some calls today. This is good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
right,
we have
calling people.
Yeah, no. We have someone that's been waiting to talk about 611. That's why I was asking you if you
611. Okay.
If you saw 611, right?
I did, and I probably could pull up a photo.
Yeah, maybe look for a photo, and I'll bring on Steven real quick and see what he has to say about it. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Uh-oh.
Are you there?
He's there, but he's not.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Hey, man, how's it going?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear us? Do you have your YouTube open, maybe?
Yeah, he probably has his YouTube open. Oh, no, he was having a problem with the connection.
Issues. I have not pulled far enough to pull down my 611 photos or video.
Oh, okay.
From iCloud. I've only got through East Broad Top, the Flight 93 Memorial, Railroaders Museum of Horseshoe Curve, the Allegheny Portage Railroad, and random rail fanning.
Random rail fanning. That sounds like something I'd have on my archive.
Which is a rail fanning Altoona. So
yeah,
I did have, I could share this video.
Jason Quinn says they ran it backwards because they had no place to turn it and they had PTC. Oh, so like maybe the second unit in that power consist wasn't equipped with PTC, but the other one is. That actually makes sense.
That could be because, yeah, you have to have PTC in. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I thought that all locomotives on the railroad are equipped with PTC, aren't they? Or does it only have to be the lead unit? I wonder.
That's a railroader's question. I don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
Anybody know?
Maybe there's someone from the FRA watching. They would know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like Steven, the person that was trying to call in, is having connection issues because his screen keeps locking up.
Oh, okay. So he has worse internet than I do?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Oh, okay, I see. So Jason, who answered that question, is saying maybe it was broken. That does make sense. They could have run into a problem where they go, we can't use this locomotive. Let's put the other one there. Yeah, that makes sense. That must have been a really crappy thing to have happen. Can you imagine working and they're like, oh, I guess we're going to have to run this backwards. Wonderful. Yeah. Well, let's try Steven again real quick. And if it doesn't work this time, we'll move on. Let's try again.
I'm here.
Are you here?
Yeah.
So you wanted to talk about 11, right?
I got to go for 611.
You got to go see it?
I kid you not, I got to go into the cab of it.
Oh, really cool.
Very cool. I didn't get to do that. I was close, but I didn't go up in the cab. They were doing an engineer's experience that day. So there were people getting in the
Yeah,
cab.
that was my first time seeing 611.
That's very cool. Did you go to Strasbourg to see it?
That's the best thing I ever saw.
Very good.
Well, that's cool.
Hello?
I think we're losing him again.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, Stephen, but you're freezing up and your audio was going bad. Maybe try again when you have a better connection. Thanks for waiting, though. Sorry about that. I kept him waiting because we were trying to stay on topic with the bridges.
Yeah.
And well, that sucks. You know, he was waiting for so long and then got on and his connection was pooping out on us.
We have a question that says, doesn't 4014 have PTC through the diesel? And that is correct. The 4015, the SD70M had the PTC that could stop the big boy. Can't start it and move it or anything, but could stop it. So they did have PTC. And did you guys know that the 4015 went back into the wild about 2 weeks after the excursion? So you can catch it out there, and it still has its green hood and silver trucks. So something else to look for besides heritage units.
Well, that's kind of like a heritage unit now, isn't it?
It is. Now it is a heritage unit.
Yeah. I thought I remember hearing, and I don't know where I heard this, maybe it was from you, Michelle, that Ed wanted to keep 4015 sort of permanently so that they could have something that they know how it works. They know how the PTC is working with the 4014 and so forth.
And you know, I asked about that again, and it'd be great to keep it, but yet it's making revenue out there, so it kind of makes sense. But I guess it's not that hard for them to take the PTC in and out, the system that they need with the big boy. And so it's not a huge deal that they keep that particular locomotive. It was super fun that they had it and that he did all those changes to it and made it special. And so I guess it's good that it's out in the wild so we can hunt for it, and maybe he'll pull it back in next year and use it again.
Yeah, that's true. What I was thinking was more, I like your thought, which is it's out there, so maybe we'll see it running when we're out rail fanning, because that would be an unusual catch, like a heritage unit, right?
Right. I think it would be fun. I think it'd be super rare to catch it somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, no, it would be. It's a one of a kind, right? So that's what I mean. It's just like a heritage unit. What I was thinking, though, is I've seen pictures of deadlines that are miles and miles and miles long of locomotives just sitting there. And I find it hard to believe they couldn't have just pulled one of those into service and left the 4015. But, you know, whatever.
Well, he wanted the number, I'm pretty sure. I do know that Ed did tell me this. He couldn't use a brand new locomotive because the PTC on those is so much more complicated than the PTC on an SD70M. And so using something of that era was easier for them to hook together to the system in the big boy because it wasn't as complicated as the most recent version of PTC. Does that make sense? Did I say it right? So it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it made sense. And I remember hearing the same thing, probably from you, because you're the
I straight up ask him sometimes. And Ed, I have to tell you, Ed Dickens is amazing at giving you the honest answer. You know, he's so good at communicating and being open about what they're doing. And I mean, the point is to bring happiness to people and show that Union Pacific cares about our history and our country and our heritage and their STEAM program. And so I have to give Union Pacific huge kudos for that program.
Yeah.
And for continuing it. So
I think they got the right person as their PR spokesman too, because
I totally agree.
Right. I've had a few interactions with Ed, and every time I found him to be a very articulate spokesperson. So
yes,
you know, and it just so happens that I guess he also knows how to work on the steam engine. So hey, what could be better than that? Having someone who's knowledgeable about that stuff and also an articulate and eloquent
and can translate it to all of us and explain it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. So
I think so. Well, let's bring Dave on. We haven't talked to him in a couple of months. Hey, man, how's it going? Uh-oh. It sounds like he might be muted, or he's probably watching on YouTube. And
no, I'm multitasking. Not only
Saying
know
you
what he's
guys were
doing.
talking in text, talking
I
in
know
chat at the same
he's
time.
playing Dungeons and Dragons with his friends at the same time.
Not now. So, Michelle, did you, by any chance, when you were up in Milwaukee, I heard you went to a place called Napum.
Yes,
What did you think of that?
I thought that was really neat.
What's NACO?
NAPM, NAPM, North American
Oh.
Prototype Modelers, and
Oh, cool.
I do have those pictures, I think.
I thought you said NACO. Was
NACO.
that like a
NAP.
nickel wafer?
At first, I had the same kind of thing. I was like, "What are you talking about?" I thought this was interesting. I finally found the place. Here, do you want to share the picture?
Yeah.
That's the door.
Yes. So
It's another brick building.
So they're
finally found it.
located in a basement in a former mall. Sitting on top of it is a Walmart Supercenter. So when they have Train Fest, they usually have that open during their open house.
That's very nondescript kind of
It's
entrance,
very
but when you go in there, it's a huge layout with a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
extra space. I'm super jealous of their storage rooms, closets, and extra space. Like it's pretty cool. So
So Michelle can keep sharing, and I know about the layout as well because I have
Oh,
been down
okay.
there as well. So
oh, do you want me to show it? I have pictures.
I mean, if
And here, let's look at. Oh, whoops! I opened it on
That
my
sounds
screen,
like a-
and not your screen. I have to share the video. I want to share video, but I have to go this way. I'm learning technology.
Napam asked Michelle if she wanted to come in, and she said no.
Yeah.
That's not quite true.
To go off your other stories, Michelle.
Oh yeah, because I keep saying, and I said no, I didn't want to see the inside of those bridges.
Yeah.
Here's the entrance. So John,
I'm
you can
waiting.
share
Oh, here
that.
it is.
Omaha Union Station. It was started by one of our members who is now.
So I'm walking down the entrance where you come in, and they've built the
Oh, look at
St.
that.
Louis.
Yeah.
That's part of St. Louis. They kind of built a lot of different locations, and that is the Durham Museum today, which is Union Station in Omaha.
Built in Lego.
Oh, look at that. It's
And
interior
look at
too.
the
That's
interior.
really
That
cool.
is made out of Legos.
Yeah, Lego.
I'm really liking that
So-
skeleton station.
So I just kind
Sean,
of walked around it.
have you done an interview with Ken Patterson?
Have I?
Yes.
I did a long time ago. Yeah.
So Ken Patterson, a couple years ago, did a What's Neat in Model Railroading
Oh.
from Napam. Ironically
that's
enough, I'm
cool.
also in that video that he did.
Oh, are you on there? That's
Are
cool.
you very cool?
Yeah.
I mean, we were all trying to figure out, like, because we had
Okay.
someone come down here and did a videography of it when we went down there as guests to visit it, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, Ken Patterson. When Kevin did his interview with Ken, it's like, oh yeah, that's where I saw you. You were at Napam.
I liked this. Let me share this video. They had this lit building that I just really thought was pretty. Look at the lighting in that barn, that wood shed. I just thought that was
a
really
quick one.
pretty.
So
Yeah.
that layout basically takes up the size of that Walmart in their basement. There are several branch lines that do branch off of it, and they all crisscross at some point. So it is a very nice, interesting layout. It is all prototype. You have to run prototype. You cannot go off script.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
are
pretty
that
cool.
they are that serious when it comes to it.
I'll share some photos if you want to pop my screen up. I like this one. They had an actual like little prison group cleaning up the road. An interesting deep scene they had where this road came under and went under the bridge and back around and up and behind, which is pretty deep for this style of modeling, you know, because it's almost modular, but it's permanent in there. But I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
That's the kind of place that I would try to do a layout tour if I was ever there.
Yeah,
Of course, it would probably take all day. Sounds like it's really big.
it's pretty big. It's really big. I don't know what their
Yeah.
square footage is.
Hold on, let me do a double check. Since I can pull it up.
But there is a city scene. Let me see if I can find a video of the city scene that was pretty neat. Now I'm pulling these off a thumbnail, guys, so if they're weird, I'm sorry. So I didn't pre-plan these. Try that one, John.
So the interior.
This building has stuff in it. Isn't that cool?
Oh, look at that! I see the chairs inside. That is cool. Is it a school? What's that supposed to be?
And they're like big. That one's full of boxes.
Layout is 26 scale miles of Class A track with 2/3 of it comprised of impressive double track mainline.
Wow.
So 26 scale miles is what is the size of that layout.
Cool. Is it fully scenic also?
Oh yeah.
There's one area they were working on. I liked that. I thought that was a neat scene. And then I'm trying to find a video because I did have a favorite scene. If I can figure out which video it is. This one might be the cornfields that were neat.
So yes, Michelle, I am multitasking in the background too.
Figured you were.
So one of the questions you had earlier, John, is you saw the Amtrak train go over the bridge with an engine on each end.
Mhm.
That's the Hiawatha service that runs from downtown Chicago to Milwaukee, and they have one on each end, so that way they don't do push-pull mode. It's just pull on either end because they run, I believe.
Oops.
Oh, what happened?
What happened was you pulled away a picture when I was about to click on one, and it clicked off Dave.
I liked this scene too. This was another one of my favorites.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Dave.
You're fine. Don't worry.
See, and then this scene right here was really cool.
So this is what I mean. What I mentioned earlier in this scene. Underneath here is one of the branch lines. This throughout the entire layout, one overlaps the other. Either one goes over, one goes under, and that's scattered throughout the layout.
Yeah, so they kind of crisscross through the whole layout, over and under. So.
And if they're a prototype-based layout, I would assume, maybe incorrectly, but that also means that they are prototypical operations as well, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So do they have a dispatcher? What kind of dispatching do they do?
They have like 2 or 3 monitors at least. Did you get a photo of it?
That might be the answer.
And
so they're DTC?
They're using JMRI and then something with that.
Well, right, but is it supposed to be a CTC or is it supposed to be a DTC?
I don't know. He controls it with the computer. There's no like CTC machine. He controls it from this. This is the dispatcher's office. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cute. I wonder if I can find a picture of what it looks like on the outside. I'll show you.
Are those video screens or is that the actual layout?
That's the layout. That's the layout track plan.
And then you're looking through the windows. These are windows.
Right. That's the layout behind the windows,
though? Layout behind the windows. Yeah. So we're up in this little office looking out on the layout.
There's like 3 steps to get up into it, and it interconnects with their lounge and all that stuff. They really built it out down there.
Seems pretty cool.
It is.
Let me see if that. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. I'm seeing if I have a picture of the dispatcher's office. I thought I took one. I did take a picture of my favorite note, but it looks like it's sideways. But share this picture because I loved this.
Oh, yeah, that's sideways. I can't tell.
That's sideways.
It says temporary roof for contemplation. And I liked that because they had this little cardboard roof and they're like, we're contemplating whether or not we like it.
Oh, I see.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I liked the concept of that. Like, I'm just going to put this here and see if I like it. Here is the office. Okay, here's the picture.
Well, that's what mock-ups are for, right? I mean, they're trying to make sure that they like the way something sits on the layout. I'm trying to share this. What happened? Add to stream. There we go.
Yeah,
that's the dispatcher's office.
Got it. It almost looks like a cab or something.
Well, it's like a little house. It's got a roof. So they have all these little rooms that look like a depot or a little building inside this room.
Mm-hmm. So like on the other,
they have the drop down lighting here over their layout that they've put in because the building roof is up here. And so they've put lighting over their layout specifically. I know there's a term for that, and I'm not thinking of what it is, but yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that one was fun. I enjoyed visiting there.
So I have a link to their website, but unfortunately I cannot post it because I don't
Oh.
have access.
If you
Action.
tell me what it is, or
Hold
can you
on.
post it into our private chat? Oh, here we
Just
go.
did.
Cool. Okay. This is cool. Yeah, I will copy that out of our private chat and repost it into the main room.
Since I don't have
Yeah.
access.
So
Yeah,
Ken Mason put a
I'm not
quote.
sure who has access. I think only moderators, the people with the little wrench next to their name on the chat in oh, and I'm looking and I don't see any moderators, huh?
Yeah, well, one's currently on the road. So that's why.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Sparky had the wrench. Okay. Well, maybe one of these days we'll add you as a moderator, Dave, because I know you always like to share stuff, and that would be a great place to do it.
I'm okay with that. Michelle, you
Yeah.
okay with that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So their layout is a whole bunch of like you walk into and then back out. You kind of follow it through these U shapes. And I
Mhm.
think there's 3 or 4 of them. And then you go around the backside, and then the other side also has U shapes.
So on the other side of
So-
this picture, on the picture that Michelle has to the left, that's where their lounge is, and that's also
I have a picture of that too.
you have a picture. Okay.
Well, it's sort of. It's this.
Yeah, let me
picture
let me
here.
remove that so you can find it. Oh, did
sorry.
you find
There
it?
you go. Yeah.
Of course, as soon as it popped up, I was
Yeah.
trying to
So
remove it.
you see how they made it look like a building though, and they put
Yeah,
little roofs?
yeah.
I thought it was really cute.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
it was
It's kind
neat.
of like having a caboose in your layout room.
Yeah, like having a caboose in your museum.
Yeah, this is good. This is funny. We're having a side
Container
conversation
Man.
in the chat right now
It's trying-
where Dave Sparky is out in Arizona right now, and he's saying that Container Man 68 is actually trying to drive right now, but he's also chatting in our chat. That's dangerous. Don't do that.
I got to meet Container Man in person in
Yeah,
Deschler.
didn't he come out there a while back?
He came out and said hi to me in Deschler. That was really cool. Yeah,
That is cool.
that was neat. So
And
Yeah,
then
I think I saw him when they were bombing the virtual Railfan cam too.
so
Sorry,
someone else asked earlier, that CP line that ran where you saw the Amtrak train on, that is the former Milwaukee Road, because
Mhm.
that's the same line that connects down to downtown Chicago, and that is the old Milwaukee. So that is correct. It is when it's part of the old Milwaukee Road.
Cool.
So for every person on here that's in a club, you need to look at the picture This is their open storage space. How many clubs can say they've got that? And then that
Jeez.
room that he's going into is a huge, huge like office space. So these guys are blessed with the square footage that most clubs do not have.
Like I said, they're in a basement of an
This
old
is-
mall.
Oh,
And
whoops,
above it,
sorry, I
it's-
opened it on mine. Let me share this video of their room. Sorry, let me go get it. So they
How
have
big-
kind of an office room,
Uh-huh.
and that's going to be this video right here. I think.
How does that compare to the size of your museum, Michelle? Size
Um,
wise?
Oh,
Square
our
footage.
layout is bigger, but our
Uh-huh.
outside space of the layout is not. They have a lot more square footage in storage space, offices, bathrooms, areas. Yeah.
Right.
The club's quarters are in
This
excess
is their-
of 5,000 square feet. So how big is the museum, Michelle?
The museum is a 10,000 square foot building with a 5,500 square foot layout.
Okay.
So what is this that you're showing us?
This is their back office behind that little door that I showed you in the last picture, that little building they built with the
Uh-huh.
door. This is when you go
Yeah.
through the door. This is their storage just for
It
parts.
looks like you could get a lot of work. As I look to the left here, do they work on the trains on all those desks right there?
Yeah, that's their workstation and their tools, and they've got room
Wow.
to store tables and chairs and all those shelves back there with scenery parts. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I was super
Yeah.
jealous.
They've
That
got a couple
is
lift
cool.
bridges too in the aisles to cross from one area to the other too. So they have everything.
Huh.
So
I'm always interested to see how different groups do their layouts. Kind of like how different people do their layouts, right?
yeah, and they took their outside wall, and I don't know if I had a picture of it. And they actually let them store. They put like shelves with track, and a lot of the members store their locomotives right there on the outside wall of the layout.
Oh,
They
interesting.
have them kind of done by eras and railroads. It's pretty interesting. I don't know that I took a video of that,
Yeah.
but it was cool to see. So I had not seen one. But yeah, it was neat the way they did it. So it was artistic storing, like it looked good, but yet it was storage, which is
Right.
always a good thing.
Cool.
So, all
Well,
right.
is there anything else, Dave, that you wanted to talk about, or should I bring on our next caller?
We can bring on the next one.
Nice to
Okay.
see you, Dave.
Well, yeah,
See you
it's
next
nice
time.
to see you.
Yep.
Happy Halloween, man.
You too.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Take care. All right. Let's bring in Robert. We haven't talked to him since last time. Hey, Robert, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hi, Robert.
I just finished coming from a union meeting and for the UP. I love
cool.
the pictures of the bridges and all that bit. And I knew a couple of friends that were bridge tenders. That's what they're called, bridge
Is that
tenders.
what they're called? Okay.
Yeah.
Bridge tenders. Not to
And
be confused with locomotive tenders.
that's true. But the funny part about it is you notice on the railroad terms, a swing bridge, lift bridge, or even a drawbridge, it's all called a draw. And even in their timetables, all that, like the Columbia Bridge draw. And that's the way you have to call it. When I come out of Albina to go across the Columbia River, I have to call, or the conductor has to call for the Columbia draw to get permission to come across.
Is it a
We
swing
have to tell him
bridge?
what main we are on. And he runs the show. He'll tell us to come up to the red light and stop and wait for him.
Of course.
We have a lot of ferry traffic up that Columbia River.
And
So
what
here-
kind of bridge is it? Is it swinging or
It's
the lift?
it is a swing span. It's a swing bridge.
Like this? Two of them? Or
No,
like-
just one swings over, offset a little bit so the barges can come through. Then it closes up. Then what you go by is you go right near the Vancouver station. And up there in Seattle, we have what we call the West Seattle Draw, and that is a barnacle drawbridge
Okay.
up there. And just like the Ballard Bridge is, the Ballard Draw is the barnacle bridge. There's only a few lift bridges in the whole area, and one of them is in Silicon Valley, and it's a double weighted lift bridge. The bridge actually lifts with the counterweights coming this way to let the boats go in and out, and then it drops down.
So
I'm
the whole
trying to
bridge like
remember-
evenly goes up like this and then
It
back
goes
down?
straight up like this.
I've seen
they
that
go
modeled
under,
before. I've never seen
they
it in real
come
life,
down.
but I did see in Deschler, there was a layout that had one and it went up and down like that. I'm not sure what they modeled, like where it was.
Yeah,
which bridge
and
it was
in Portland is the same way. Portland and the Willamette bridges are lift bridges, or the draws are lift bridges.
Okay.
Here I am talking railroad terms. Gee, many Christmas. But
I have a question, Robert, that I think you're probably equipped to know the answer with your experience.
oh god,
Which is what do they do to protect the crossing? Do they have derails so that the train would just stop and derail instead of going off the bridge into the river?
yes, they do have. They have mechanical derails and all this bit. I know because I had to go do an investigation on a crew that accidentally went through a derail, and it does stop the train.
So there are derails. Okay, that's
There's
what I
derails
expected.
at either end.
Yeah, because you'd
And-
rather derail the train and have it stop that way than have it plunge into a river while the bridge is open. That
Yes.
makes sense.
Right. And I
You're
never
correct.
could get up high enough to see what like the rail looked like on the other sides of the bridges. So,
That would be a great job for a drone, huh?
Oh yeah.
Go check out the track.
yeah.
Yeah,
to-
they're spaced out. They're spaced out from the entrance or where the draw or the span is. They're measured out. The one on the Columbia Draw when you're going north is on the bridge of the Columbia North.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't quite see them here. Like
Right.
that's about as high as I could get, so you can't see the rail.
Yeah,
Well,
the derail would be
derails would
further
be
up
on
the line.
Yeah, the derails will be on the other side of the street. It's called a FRA safety measure.
How far away would it be? Because you'd have to account for the inertia with the train, right?
Well, yeah, you have to by the inertia, but on for example, the Vancouver draw, the speed limit is 30, maximum 30. The one on the West Seattle Bridge, it's 10. So that's how they determine the length of the derails.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Now, if they're letting them coming through like around like the Chamber Bay Bridge, that's a 40-mile-per-hour one, so the derails are a little farther apart. You do it.
Okay.
And the maintenance guys don't like that because they have to hike to get to them to check them out and all this bit. But the bridge tender is, like you said, John, is a interlock. It is a manual interlock. A manual interlock means it's manually done. So he controls that. On the timetables on the BN, it shows the bridge, but it shows CTC. But if that signal is red, you have to call the bridge tender to go past, because he has to make sure everything's locked down, pass it. But when you get past, getting close to the next signal, you have to call the dispatcher to get authorization to re-enter CTC.
Okay, so this is a still shot of one coming across. I didn't show you the video because I didn't have time to edit out the 30 seconds of nothing before the train crosses, but I could pull the video up. He was doing about 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can scoot it forward if you want to show the video, Michelle.
I got to go find it. That was just a photo that I
whatever.
in the video. I'll go
that
find
type
it.
Of bridge, that type of river bridge right there would be 10 mph.
I wonder if they have a physical person operating it manually for liability's sake. So if a train goes into the river, they can say that's CP Bike is the guy that let the train go in the river.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
If that train goes in the river, that means he went through the derails.
Right. So he went through it.
And you got to understand
the bridge is turned.
Yeah. The bridges we have up. Yeah. The bridges we have up here are down on the big main lines. And ones like this one would be open for river traffic because the Coast Guard runs the river.
Why did it jump like that? Oh.
I'm trying to
get
it.
You're trying to forward. Yeah. Say it takes a little bit to get to it. And then I'm pretty sure I videoed the whole train, so we don't want to watch the whole thing. It's long.
Well, I mean, we can have it playing in the background.
Yeah, he's correct. He's going 10 mph right there.
And look at the second locomotive.
It was BNSF, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
BNSF on the Canadian Pacific. And then I don't know what the green and white one is.
That almost looks like a Genesee in Wyoming.
I thought that would be super interesting concept.
It's a regional engine. I know that.
Yes, it's not labeled.
Yeah, it's not Genesee in Wyoming. It doesn't have all the markings. It looks like it might be a leaser, huh?
Yep.
What is
I'm
this?
guessing lease power. So anyway, that's how slow. Like Amtrak flew over these, but every freight train was like this speed.
Well, I would too if you had a whole mess of tanks on you.
Yeah, no, right there where he's headed, he's going right into the intermodal station. And there's a huge mail facility right there, U.S. Mail. And then there's the Amtrak station on the left, right down the street. So that's how close this bridge is to that facility.
Well, you got to understand, I was a freight engineer, so I can understand what they're doing. Because there is certain speed limits for certain trains. Like us going across Vancouver is 30, but for Amtrak it might be higher, because it's lighter.
Somebody's saying virtual rail fan in Fort Madison can see the derail for the bridge. Interesting. Okay. So
it would be right near. It would be right near the approach.
Okay.
Right near the approach and all that bit. And to answer John's question before we got to this, yes, it's manned. All draws are manted like they have like shifts all that time, and most of them are near retiring, so they're most senior maintenance away bridge buildings and bridge people.
Yeah.
They're mostly the senior ones, so they get the choosy job to sit up there and swing the bridge occasionally and watch the boats go by. And
Be the
at
tender.
summertime, you can watch a lot of boats go by and all this bit.
They're
Okay.
boat foamers.
You know,
They're tenders. I just learned that. They're bridge tenders.
that's right. They're correct. They're bridge tenders.
Did you guys see the joke that someone posted in there?
That was
About-
funny.
Someone who's, hold on, let me find it. That
That
was
was
a
good.
play on
That was
words.
a good joke. Whoever put it, I was cracking up.
Yeah, that was a play on words that made me laugh. Now I can't find it. They said someone who's afraid to open the bridge is a chicken tender. Here it is.
Crispy or extra.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I like those
Jokes.
punny jokes though.
Yeah, but I've been across that Vancouver bridge for over 22 years. I've been across it a lot, going
Yeah.
across it, and there's occasionally I had to stop at the station waiting for a fleet of tugs with their barges going through, you know, and we're sitting there looking at our timepiece and say, well, our 12 hours is coming up close. You know, because you're right, they have to call ahead. It's like a 2-hour call, or they have to call ahead, because the Coast Guard rule is that on some of the bridges, Coast Guard rule is river traffic has priority over the railroad.
Well, if you think about it, the river probably was there before the railroad was, so it would make sense that they give the river traffic priority just on that.
That's how it was explained to me. They're like, if you're going to build over the river, you're going to move for the boats.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and also like us with the Columbia, we have different currents, and that can cause drifting. So you know that, and these barges are heavy.
Sure.
So they need
Yeah.
to keep moving and not be delayed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these two bridges, this is pretty much individual, like not big commercial traffic, because it's a smaller waterway. And so they make them wait 2 hours.
That one would be a neat one to model, because
Somebody's got to model
that
this.
could be towards the backdrop area, and you can make it move. You know, you have your track near the background from your foreground, and have it move against the building and back. You can use a Hancock motor, that's slow motion motor, to run it. That would be ideal. Plus, I like the pictures of the details inside. If people on your show, John, are competition modelers, now you got some good inside pictures. Get a hold of Michelle.
Yeah. Super
Yeah.
detailed, that thing, man.
And you
Yeah.
could probably get him to take other details if you wanted. He was so nice. And I think he was just excited that someone cared and was
Yeah.
interested, you know? That's interesting, Gary, that you were a bridge tender. Was it this kind of bridge? I'm just curious. So do you
Yeah.
see why I said stop the car? I saw this bridge and I was like, stop the car. I got to go look at that bridge.
Perfect.
I get it. I don't know if I would have told people to stop the car, but if someone did, I certainly wouldn't be upset about it, you know?
There's one thing I see navigational lights on that, or it's a little blurry, but on our bridges, like our barnacle bridges that come down, lift up and lift down, the funny part is when they're down, they're red. You know, the
Yeah,
end
they're
of
red
the
right
the
now
end
in
of,
this
end
in
of the
this
marking
picture,
lights
red.
are red, but when it lifts up 45-degree angle, it goes out. Then past that, it goes to green.
Oh, for
It
the boats.
signifies that the bridge is up or the bridge is down.
Well, now I'm curious if those red lights there, if they change when the bridge opens.
I bet they do.
Do you see the two
Yeah,
on
they
the
do.
bottom under the bridge?
Yeah, they should change, or they have a split lens where it shows.
What's
Interesting.
funny about
I'm
it
gonna have to
is,
pay attention in my other videos then.
yeah.
This train is
funny-
still going. Have you guys noticed this train is still going?
So
Oh yeah.
it's a long train.
I'm pretty sure it's 12 minutes of video.
What I was going to say that I find is interesting is that we think as sort of rail centric people that the light should be for the train, but it makes more sense in this context that the light should be for the ship
It's for the
vessel,
boats.
the water vessels.
Yeah. They're navigational lights.
Yeah.
That's what they are. That tells them when they're red on the bottom, that's saying that there's a pier right there, or it's locked in. And when it opens up, it gives a green and you pass through. So yeah. It's a navigational. It's like I said, Coast Guard. It's navigational.
Yeah, Sparky, he was telling me times like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Although there was an 8:30 garbage boat. So yeah, like hour, half hour, like on the time so the boats will know.
Mm-hmm. But you need to come up here. You need to come up here, Michelle, to the northwest and see Portland and Seattle.
That'll be next year. I'll make it to Portland, not Seattle. I'll be in Portland next year.
Because I would like to invite you to our club up there in Edmonds, but we won't be in our location anymore.
Oh, no.
And Burlington Northern has given us our notice, and we'll be out of there because they're putting in a double main at the station. So we have to move out.
Your station, or is it a building they're going to take down?
They're going to chop the bay window and all that to make the double track. And they're going to use the baggage room that we're in as the baggage room for Amtrak because there's going to be no side views. So we're looking for a new place and all that bit. And we are the oldest ones that have been in that place since roughly 1977. And it's called the Swamp Creek and Western. And yeah, a lot of the guys are scrambling to look for a new place. And, it's changing the times.
Split Rock, that's an interesting comment that they're manned 24 hours a day until the river freezes. Is that to get the boats in time? Is that just seasonal manned 24 hours a day, or is that all year?
That's all year round.
All year when it's open. Interesting.
Yeah,
I don't live by water. I live in Colorado, so all of this is so new to me.
Yeah, they run 8 hours.
Water stuff.
Yeah, they run 8-hour shifts. They run 3 shifts.
Yeah, and Sparky's saying that boats can't go through till the bridge is fully open and not before. However, the garbage boats started going early on my second video.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was totally bored. Obviously, he goes through there every day.
But anyway, I liked your, Michelle, I loved your pictures of the East Broad Top because that gave me some great inside tips on a roundhouse, junky old roundhouse.
That's going to be its own show on here. I'm going to do East Broad Top as
I hope you do.
Yeah.
And for John, I went back through your YouTube tapes. I've been watching a lot of these YouTube tapes on cracked gears on this product.
It's hard to see. What is it?
Was that a GP7?
No,
By the way, this train is still going.
Oh, GP7. There it is. Okay.
Right. Western Pacific.
Okay. Western Pacific.
And one of them has turned out to be like this. If I can get it closer. It even has extra flags and all that bit. Well, out of all the videos I've seen, you are the only one that's very knowledgeable and with you and Dan, very knowledgeable and very well performed the video.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, John, you did a great job on that. I mean, the other guys are holding their phones and it's going all over the place and all this bit and dropping.
Yeah. One of the things that I always insisted on was to have tripods. And that's one thing that I will say, I will always give Dan a lot of credit for being a really good modeler. Mm-hmm. It's a shame that he doesn't really do it much anymore.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. I would love to.
I'm gonna address
I love to bring my engine over and let him take a look at it. I mean,
yeah. What did you say, Michelle?
Can I address the negative comment I see about me?
It's gone.
Oh, I can see it. This guy says he doesn't like that I giggle and I'm a grown woman. It's like I've struggled with this because I can't change it because it's who I am. And so I used to really, really worry about it when I was on things, and because it's like a stutter. It's like I can't help that I do it. And so I just decided to embrace it because I'm happy. And if you're unhappy because I'm happy, then I'm sorry. And so you don't have to
love it.
And that's
I have 2 fingers for you that are not extended right now.
Oh, totally okay. I'm sure it's
read between the lines.
And so
this one, right?
Yeah, read between the lines.
Trust me, he's
Yeah.
not the first person to tell me that
I
they
think
can't
it's
take
I
me
think it's a great
seriously
laugh.
because I giggle, or that I'm stupid, or that whatever. I've dealt with that my whole life, so
Well,
I'm all
can I,
right. It's all good. So I'm
since you're
sorry that it
No,
bothers
no, no,
you.
no.
since you're bringing
Whoever he
since
is.
you're bringing it up, Michelle, you'll notice that it's a completely fake profile too. Look at the name; like it doesn't even mean anything.
Well, I don't.
So it's
Obviously he's been annoyed for a while, so maybe I've made
Yeah.
his night of annoyance. Okay, whatever.
it's just a troll. Yeah, just a troll.
But
Here,
but I do
here's
get
one.
that.
Here's one for you, Michelle.
All
Well, thanks,
right,
guys.
yeah.
You obviously all put up with the giggle because you come back.
Yeah, keep
it's okay.
watching. Keep watching.
And your other picture when you saw the guys doing the switching and the guys kicking the
Yeah.
cars and all that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's calling the head of the engineer. When I ran the 5 yard, they loved my kicking, and they had a new kid pulling pins. Well, when I kick cars, when I hear kick it, I have that thing all the way to notch 8. Brakes off, notch 8. I mean, I'm revving that baby up. And he knows to time it just right, say that or do, and I come in and I slam on the brakes. Well, the young kids didn't know that he's telling you just lift up the pin and let it go. He lifted up the pin and he's still running with it. He's still running with the pin. He says, drop the pin, drop the pin. And the guy's still running. He goes, drop the lever. Oh, okay.
Hey, John, the video is about to end. Can you back it up like 10 seconds?
I can
Amtrak actually passed it.
Yeah, I can try, but I don't know if I can do just 10 seconds.
Oh,
Let's
okay. But right at the very end, you'll see Amtrak going the other way.
They're behind
trains on the bridge. It's a double, double lane bridge.
And it's behind the. Oh, see,
But you have to go way to the end. That was a 12-minute video.
It's actually 13 minutes. Jeez.
That's how long that train was. Then you got to go further than that. We can't watch it.
Yeah, it's at 13 and a half right now, and I can't see.
Just so you know, Amtrak goes by at the end. Oh, it's going. Do you see it? Look,
yes, it's behind there. Yeah, it's kind of hard because the video is a little grainy looking.
Guys, I'm sorry, it's my internet, but yeah, see, Amtrak's going the other way.
It was working when you were doing these from home because I think you got faster internet at home, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm at work
But kicking
don't
cars.
Apologize. Jeez.
I know.
Here, let's make that go away so we're not distracted by it. Yeah.
The kicking the cars, yes, it takes a talent to do, and it's up to the certain engineers you have. When I was on the ground, I had wimpy engineers and I had good engineers up there in Seattle. And like I told you before, John, we work off tie charts because it's all landfill and it goes up and down, and you got to know how to kick. But yeah, your kicking is once you get the car motion and it's heavy, you say that or do, and you pop the pin. That's when the knuckles separate and the thing looks like it's slow motion going in. And if you're good, all you hear is clunk clunk. We have some that went smash smash.
Okay, so this might not be the right one. He kicks a big string, but I don't think it's this. It's not that video.
Oh no, that stopped.
Yeah, that one. It wasn't that one. I'll see if I can find it because there's one where he kicks, like you were saying, he kicks a big string and then they follow it with the locomotive.
Mm-hmm.
And then they throw a switch right between the two of them, the kicked cars and the locomotive, and then the locomotive goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't tell from my thumbnails which one it is.
As the philosophy is if you go and do knuckle to knuckle switching, you'll be switching 1950 stuff eras.
Gotcha.
Kicking cars speeds up the process, even when you're doing container cars and all that bit. Pig flats, you got to watch. We had one guy accidentally kicked one real hard and the back end door bowed. It bowed out.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You can break the stuff inside, but they shipped it on its way. So but it's a talent. It's and once you get used to it and all that, and you're on a switch job, you do it all the time.
Oh,
John, I think it's that one.
Yeah, let's try it and see what happens.
Yeah, because this is right after that one hopper went by us, and then this one comes along.
So, hey, Michelle, were the guys you were with okay with this? They wanted to foam, right? I mean,
Oh, they're total foamers. Yeah, they knew.
okay.
Yeah, they're just not lucky. I was with them, so they got lucky.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
You stub your toes when you're kicking cars. That's a good little joke, Grandpa Rails.
Could have been worse.
Kicking cars approved by the FRA. I'm pretty sure it is because it's done in many, many yards. So see the guy in the front of the locomotive? He just pulled the pin.
It's hard to see.
Oh shoot! I'm
This is
sorry, you guys said it's so blurry.
Well, you have to understand what they're doing is they came in and you saw them slow down, so they're stretching the knuckles out. So they don't, if it comes around a curve, they still stay straight. Then he just popped. He gave him a kick sign, and they came up a little bit. You notice how fast they came because it might be a downhill grade, and he just pulled the lever, and there they go.
It goes. Yeah, see how.
And to all your viewers, all the air is out of those. You don't kick them with air.
Oh yeah,
well, of course, right? Because if
right.
the air,
because they're going to bang at the other end, they're going to hit something. And there is a pretty loud bang. I didn't catch it on video, but it's pretty loud when it hits cars at the other end. See,
if you have right some air on there, the cars don't move.
So
right. It goes in emergency. Now that's a neat engine. That is a neat CP engine.
I thought it was a neat engine. I have a photo.
Those cars seem to be going kind of fast. I wonder if they were kicking empties.
I don't know. The bangs are pretty loud. Let's see how it goes back into the yard there.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's on a descending grade.
Yeah. How do you stop them? They hit the car at the end.
Yeah, they'll pick up speed. So
Keith wants to know how you stop them, and the answer is they run into the other cars at the end of the little.
Yeah. With the knuckles open.
Yeah, although I've seen a person ride a car down to the end of a spur, and as he's getting to the end, he's cranking the handbrake to make it stop. So, and I believe, Michelle, that the people that were kicking the cars at that UP yard that we were at, I think someone was riding those cars too and slowing them down.
I think
as they were approaching the cut that they were.
I do have a video where there's a guy on a car and he is slowing them down, and then he steps off right before they hit the other car. So I put up a picture of that locomotive.
Yeah, our 5 yard on the one end is almost like a hump yard. That's how steep it is with the grades and all that bit. And I used to ride the cars, and when I come down near the switches, I'm cranking that handbrake down to slow it down. Then I slowly loosen it up and bring it tight and loosen it up and bring it tight. And I got it where it's just creeping right to the knuckle and bang, hit. And then I loosen it up and I get off that ladder fast because he's firing another car down on me, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't stub your toes too well on kicking cars. No.
So something about this locomotive, 2282. So I watched it in the yard, and this is a Monday. And on Tuesday night, I'm having dinner with Jim and Kate Wren after we saw the Heritage unit go by. We didn't eat at the station that night. We went to an Italian restaurant further down on the same rail line. And while we're eating dinner, this locomotive went by as the second unit on the train. So they pulled it out of the yard, and it went on the main line the next day, and I saw it. And I just thought that was really kind of fun.
I want to know what that is. Is that a GP35? What is that thing?
No. That the way the blister looks and all that looks like almost like a
50,
a 60 low nose. Yeah,
it seems like it's not long enough to be a 60.
No, Santa Fe had them GP60. I think that's a GP60M. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. It's just the dynamics on the back end are square. The blister is square.
Interesting. It was nice and clean and shiny.
It looks like Dave is saying it's a GP20C Eco. That must be something that's been rebuilt. Hey Dave, is is that like a GP50 or a GP60 that was rebuilt to be some other newer tier compliant?
And I think he just looked it up in CP's listing.
It's a rebuilt GP40. Okay, huh? Oh, I see. Yeah, looking at it, it looks like it probably did or does have 3 fans in the back. Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Little bumps.
Yeah.
I thought it was neat. I'm trying to
like
learn.
it.
So
I like
the
to
3
model
fans in
it.
the back made it a GP40. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a rebuilt GP40.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
what Thomas is saying, which he probably knows what he's talking about. Cool. Best viewers on YouTube, guys. all you gotta do is
thanks
ask.
for the info.
Yeah.
Somebody had a question up there saying, is kicking a safe practice? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not out there just trying to bang cars all over the place, but it speeds up getting your trains made up for the haul going wherever its destination.
Yeah.
It's almost like a hump yard.
It's a mini hump yard without all the mechanisms.
We call it flat switching.
Switching. Okay.
Flat switching, because you're using power to move the car, release, and let it go into your tracks. It's called flat switching. Then you have hump switching, as you know that it's the hill and all that bit.
Yeah, over the hill.
Yeah. Where Michelle needs to go to Barstow to see it used to be Santa Fe, but the BNSF Barstow hump yard.
It's a really big yard.
That is there. When you pull in, you're up on a big giant ridge, and you can just watch cars come flying down.
Cool. I'll add it to my list. I like watching the hump yard in North Platte. I think that's fun to watch. The Bailey yard. Yeah.
That's one of the things on my list that I would like to do a video all about hump yards, what it is, what it does, and why they do it.
Yeah, because you got close to you is
J.R. Davis.
Yeah, Davis, the Davis yard. That the funny part is the retarders came out of Eugene.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they found out when they made the hump yard too shallow, so they had to redo it again.
The split rock thing, he did 350 cars, and wow, that's a lot. But if you got to sort those out, it's way easier to let them go than to move them all slowly.
Yeah, what we need to do is figure out how to model that. How can you model kicking cars? You have to have like remote uncouplers, right?
Yeah, you would, because you can model a hump yard. I've seen hump yards modeled with magnets, but it's a specific location on the layout, so you can let that magnet go. But to do it kicking, it'd have to be moving. I don't know how you'd do that.
Well, we had a former member who passed away. His name was Clark, and he made what they call the flywheel car. And what it was is flywheel with a rubber band on one of the axles. And he demonstrated, he kicked it, and the flywheel just kept the car just in motion all the way in. And I tell him, okay, how are you going to do that for flat cars, tank cars, and all that? Because box cars are great. I go, okay. So in other words, put a tank car in front of it and let it go. It also gives you slack action too, but it takes a long time for your train to pull the dang thing. There's somebody out there that's going to try to create a way to kick cars where it would tighten down on the wheels, just slow them down.
Mm-hmm.
We got imagination and manufacturers out there just thinking of stuff.
Interesting. This comment. So okay. So the 2 guys that are actually like pulling the pin and moving the car, one of them is controlling the locomotive remotely, or is it a third person controlling the locomotive? I'm just curious. That's interesting. There's no one in the cab.
Yeah, I think people stand out on the ground with the controlling the train.
I was qualified on the remote control box, the Trican box, and all that bit. And our class were mostly engineers because we're losing our spots in this cabs at the yard. So we went to the class. And the guy says, you guys are fantastic. I have never seen so smooth operation on these boxes. And we go on, we're engineers. We know the old saying, John and Michelle, is an engineer knows how to run his train by the seat of his pants.
I've heard that it's all in
because
their
you can feel it, right? You feel
feel
it
it
in the
in the
engine.
seat, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the guy on the ground can't feel it, you know,
Right.
and to run the thing, you know. But yeah, that's the new way is they're in it's called remote control, and they do the remote control and all that bit, but they can't go on the main line. So that's why maybe that engine had to go on a train to head somewhere else. You know,
Oh.
they had to swap an engine because
Yeah, maybe, because I was surprised. I thought it was a yard switcher, and then I saw it as the second unit on a train heading out of Milwaukee. So I was surprised to see that.
I like this one.
They might
I
have
like
just
this
been
one.
taking it to another yard.
Yeah, taking it to another yard. 2 switch running engine. They have a box on their chest.
I've seen that box before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny part about those boxes, they say, oh, it only weighs, 5 pounds. Well, after a 12-hour shift, it's 20 pounds.
A lot of weight. Yeah.
Because you're walking on the ballast in the yard. You're walking back and forth. You're constantly walking. Then when it rains, like up here in Washington, like they do all the time, you're in rain jacket and all this bit, and you got this box on you and all that. And there's always a routine before you can even start. You have to go through the whole safety procedure routine on this box, the 2 of you, before you can even get out on the yard and start doing your job.
So it's a long time with the big box on the front.
Well,
so
yeah.
You know what I call that? Motherhood. I carried my kids for 2 years. My left arm muscle was like massive from holding my kids. Sorry.
I never heard it that way.
I think I got repetitive use injuries from having one kid under my arm for the first 2 years.
But that's what I pictured. I'm like, I remember how heavy it was holding my kid all day long. So.
Yeah. But you have one arm that looks like Popeye and the other arm's just normal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you clip the boxes on your vests that they give you, and the vest, the FRA stated that the vest has to have like aluminum straps on the back because it's to help support the back with the box, and the antenna is right here too. So you got this EMC transmission right around the heart area. It's
probably
that's got to be really good
crazy.
For you.
Huh?
Got to be really good for you.
Oh yeah, you don't need a flashlight; your eyes light up, so no problem,
Well, guys, it's about that time. I'm finding the conversation pretty fascinating, but it's about that time.
We're going to be on
I'm sorry
time
I
tonight.
bored you.
No, I think that no, Robert, fascinating means I'm interested in what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it was good. I appreciate all the comments, Robert. That was interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, 22 years on the railroad. I mean, and before that, 20 years on the military. I know a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, I think it's great. I enjoy
it's great. Yeah, thanks for talking to us about it.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot tonight. I learned it's a bridge tender. Learned more about kicking cars.
Or a chicken tender.
I always learn something from everybody.
Yeah, make sure you call in next time too, Robert, so we can have some more interesting railroad talk.
Oh yeah.
What are you going to talk about, Michelle, next time?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
I haven't decided. We have so many things. I mean, there's so many things that we could talk about. My rail trip to Pennsylvania is going to have to be divided into many things. So.
Okay. Well, I guess we have a month to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do want to wish you, Michelle, a happy birthday on Monday. In case people don't know, it's Michelle's birthday on Monday.
Coming up.
Yeah. Let's not sing. I will spare you from my singing.
Oh, I don't sing.
I don't sing either, so we're good.
We can just
the modern day is the modern day is Happy B Day.
There you go. HBD.
HBD.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
All right. Well, I got
and I'll be happy. So
yeah, I got a couple things to I guess talk about before we go. So I'm going to let you go, Robert. Thank you very much for calling. Problem. It's always good to talk to you.
I'll see you next time.
Well, the archives will be back.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you very much. Cool. So yeah, so happy birthday Monday, Michelle.
Everybody's saying happy
And,
21st birthday. Thank you guys. That's so sweet of you. You
Yeah,
can add, you
see?
can like double that and add some. But it's
Well,
okay.
you know,
Thank
20
you.
as long as you feel 21, that's all that
There
matters, I
you go.
guess. And then next month, hold on a minute, let me check. Next month we're going to be saying happy birthday to me because my
Yep.
birthday is going to be 2 days before our next show on November 17th.
Yep.
So everybody watching, you know what I always say, when my birthday is coming up, you know where to send the money. Oh, and also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but our top secret producer showed up and her birthday's on the 28th, which is next
Of October?
October 28th, next
Really? I didn't know
Thursday.
that.
Yeah, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. So
So
it's
like
happy
me,
birthday
she
to her.
probably always had costume birthday parties, Halloween themed.
What do you know what I've been thinking of doing is inviting people to send me money for her and I'll give it to her. That sounds legit, doesn't it?
There you go.
So also I do want to mention if it's okay before we go, we're going to have model railroading with Jack Burgess on the 23rd. So that's this Saturday. And there's also a product spotlight on Friday. And then the last Saturday of the month, we're going to do a live model railroading video with a guy named Paul Deese, who's in the Pacific region of the NMRA that I'm part of, and who also was the guy who put together all the layout tour. I guess they were called roundtables that we did at the NMRA National Online Virtual Convention that we had back in July. And Paul is actually working on his MMR right now. I think he's one certificate away from being an MMR. So that's going to be
That's
on
a lot of work.
It is, yeah. It's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
I was looking at the AP, the achievement program, and realized that I actually qualify for one of the certificates, which I might get some help from my friend Jack to figure out what I need to do to fill out the paperwork. It's something about being published. It's service to the hobby or something. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think, right. I think 1,200 or 1,500 videos probably qualifies.
Yeah, I think you definitely qualify, John.
Right, for that.
Hey, your banner's gone. Do you need to put your banner up at the bottom?
Yeah, I totally forgot to run the banner.
He had a banner to run. There we go.
This is the other announcement that I really want, especially people that are close by to where I live. I want people to know that the South Bay Historical Railroad Society, that's the SBHRS at the Santa Clara Depot, is having their first annual fall open house in 2 years. The last one was 2 years ago, and that was just before COVID, actually. And we haven't had one since. So November 6th and 7th is going to be the fall open house. And this is probably one of, if not the, well, no, it's one of the best model railroad and railroad related events in the Bay Area. Somebody is asking, is Jack Burgess an MMR? Yes, Jack Burgess is an MMR. He's number 136, I think, or something like that.
And now he helps people with it, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I mean, the guy is just a font of information and knowledge. And if you ask him anything, he will tell you how to do it. One of the great things about this guy is that there are no secrets. If you want to know how he built this or how he weathered that or how he painted the other or how he designed, whatever. Speaking of design, that's what this model railroading with Jack Burgess is about. That's coming out this Saturday. It's about layout design considerations. And he talks about some really important things to think about if you're thinking about building a layout or want to improve a layout that you already have. So it's definitely worth checking out when it comes out. So what about with you, Michelle? Are there any Halloween things or anything going on with the Colorado Model Railroad Museum that you want to mention before we go?
We have a big Veterans Day weekend planned here. So Veterans Day is on a Thursday, and we'll be open and operating, and we offer free admission to any military service, past, present. So we're hoping for a huge weekend of visitors that we can honor for their service. And so
Cool.
that's kind of our next big event. We don't do Halloween here because all the kids, they don't come here to trick or treat. Our downtown does a huge thing a few blocks away the day before.
Mhm.
And so we support that. And so we just do fall here. We usually don't do Halloween. So I don't really have a Halloween event. I do
You
have
know,
a
if I
huge fundraiser if anybody would like to donate to us. Our fundraiser is Tuesday, November 9th. And if you want to fly out here and come, I'd be happy to have you. It's called An Old Fashioned Christmas, and it's Charles Dickens themed after our Department 56 Christmas village that's called Dickens Village. And so it's late 1800s, Old English. So it should be a really fun event. And we're hoping to raise money for a fence. We need a fence. So there we go.
a
Free admission
fence.
to cops. You know what? We probably would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Let the
fact, our
cops
local
in.
police come in anytime. We always allow firefighters, police, and even Union Pacific guys. They all come
Right.
in.
But the real question though is, would you have free donuts? Because even I would come for that.
For a free donut. Well, you should come when it's Sunday apps and I run it because I always bring donuts.
Oh,
So
you do?
last Sunday was my Sunday apps. Yeah. And so I
Oh,
bring donuts and I bring the guys lunch too. So
wow.
yeah, so you should always
That's,
volunteer on the third Sunday when it's my month.
you know, actually, if I volunteered down at the museum, you could have a Halloween show.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't even have to wear a mask. It's just scary the way it
That's
comes.
John. Here's John. So yeah, it's all about Christmas here too, just getting everything planned, and yeah, lots going on for me. So
Right on. Okay.
well, thanks
Well,
everybody for joining. I had
yeah.
fun tonight. I learned a lot, and I appreciate you all wishing me happy birthday. Thanks, and joining
Yeah.
us tonight. And all your comments are great. So
Yeah. And since we won't see you before then, happy Halloween, everybody. I know for some people that's like the best holiday of the year.
yeah.
I'll get in trouble for calling it a holiday. You watch. Someone's going to be all angry. But I got two fingers for you, and they're not
It's a
extended right
Hallmark
now.
holiday. Hallmark they're the ones who decide the holidays, right? So Hallmark calls it a holiday. It's a
Well,
Hallmark.
I guess it's a holiday then.
Yeah, except I don't know. Did they make Hallmark movies for Halloween? They sure make them for Christmas. So
No, I think Halloween movies are like horror movies. So it's
yeah,
like the opposite, because the Hallmark movies are all those little crying ones, aren't
they're all
they?
sweet. Yeah, they're all sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Halloween qualifies, but you know, Hallmark, if they can sell overpriced cards, they're okay with that. Any holiday will do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for watching. Thanks again, Michelle,
Thanks.
for hanging out. It's always
See
good to do
everybody.
this. And yeah, we'll catch everybody next time.
See ya.